Welcome back to Math Savvy. Let's do some integration practice. So with this, it's basically the same thing as when we integrate with x's, except you notice that there's a t here, and at the end there's dt. You'll see this a lot with teachers trying to trick you. A lot of the times it's going to be dx, but this x could really be any variable or any letter, and you just do the same thing but with that letter. So okay, let's go. If we start with this, we leave this 2 the same. T, there's a 1 here. When we add 1 to this 1, it becomes a 2, and then we divide by that new number. Okay, plus 5. Then we're working with t's, right? So there's going to be a t here. And because there's no numbers, because this is an indefinite integral, we're going to add plus c. So when we simplify that out, this is going to be the integral of this function. Okay, this one looks a little bit trickier because there's this x in the denominator of this function. But what we do when we see functions like this is we're going to change it to like this x to the negative 2. This negative 2 just means whatever this function is, it's in the denominator. So in this case, we would be working with x to the negative 2, and we're going to do the same steps as before. We add 1 to whatever this number is, leaving us with negative 1, and then we divide by the new number. So we divide by negative 1. Then we add c. So a lot of your professors or teachers are going to want you to put this back into the denominator form because you don't want negative exponents. So there's going to be a negative sign because it's divided by negative 1, and then it's just going to be 1 over x because there's a 1 here, plus c, of course. Okay, so this is kind of the same vibes as the last one, but we're going to change this to exponent form. So if you didn't know, a square root is the same as an x to the 1/2. So this is the same as a square root, and then we just do the same thing. So we're going to add 1 to this exponent. So we're adding 2 over 2, which is going to give us 3 over 2. Then we divide by whatever new number is here. So we divide by 3 over 2. And of course, we're going to add c. So if we simplify this out a little bit, dividing by an exponent is, dividing by a fraction is the same as multiplying it by like the opposite. So multiplying by 2 over 3. So we're going to have 2/3 out front. Then this is going to be x to the 3 over 2 plus c. This is a super, super, super common test question or homework questions. It's basically just testing you on, do you know that f of x is just the integral of f prime of x? So, okay. If this is f prime of x of x is going to equal the integral of this thing right here. So we know how to take the integral. So we're going to leave 12, then this turns into x cubed over 3 minus 4x squared over 2 plus c. Okay, so this is where things get kind of fun. So we're going to simplify this out. Now we have this f of negative 3 is equal to 17. We can use this piece of information to solve for what this c is because we need the full f of x. Like, yeah, this is f of x, but we could get more exact by solving for c. So we're going to use f of negative 3. F of negative 3 is equal to 17, meaning 17 is going to equal whatever this function is when we plug in negative 3 for all the x's. So if we plug in negative 3, it's going to be 4 times negative 3 cubed minus 2 times negative 3 squared plus c. Okay, so if we simplify this out a little bit, that's going to turn into negative 27 minus 2 times 9 plus c. Okay, I plugged this into a calculator because I didn't know what these numbers were, but those are the numbers. So we end up getting that 143 is equal to c. So now the question is asking what f of x is. Determine f of x. So f of x is equal to what we solved for here, right? So f of x is equal to this. But then we have to add c, right? And our c is equal to 143. So our final answer is going to be 4x cubed minus 2x squared plus 143. Okay, so this is kind of a combination of two ones that we've done previously, where we have some sort of like square root function, and it's also in the denominator. So first step is let's change this from square roots into like some sort of exponent. So it's going to be 1 over x to the 2/3. We know that because there's a 2 here and a 3 here. A regular square root has like an invisible 1 and then a 2 here. So then this is going to go to the negative 2/3 because we're going to move this to the top. And now we can treat this as like a regular integral. So it's going to be x, and then we're going to add 1. Okay, we're going to add 1. So we're going to add 3 over 3 to this. So that's going to give us 1/3 because it's a negative here. So 1/3, then we divide it by our new number, which is 1/3, and of course we're going to add c. So, okay, same thing. This is the same thing as multiplying this by 3 over 1, yeah? So it's going to turn into 3 times x to the 1/3 plus c. Okay, ending on kind of an easy one, we have just the integral of 1. And then notice that it's dw instead of dx. So instead of this just being x, it's just going to be w plus c because our w is acting like an x. If this was dx, it would be x plus c. But because it's dw, it's going to be w plus c. Okay, thanks for watching. Hope that helped a little bit.